I don't drink, guys. I'm not a drinker. But if I did, if I ever played a drinking game, I would have perished if I had taken a drink every time Nikki Haley said DeSantisLies.com. Now, if you didn't have an opportunity to watch this debate, and I sincerely hope you didn't because it was too long, she referred pretty much every question. I don't know if this was like a strategy for her, but it was truly every question that she was given. She responded with something along the lines of DeSantisLies.com, which is a website that her and her campaign set up to show about all the lies that Ron DeSantis had said about Nikki Haley. Now, here's the thing. I went to the website. Some of the stuff on the website is really good. Some of it's kind of crap. But she said it way too much. She said DeSantisLies.com so many freaking times during this debate. It got kind of annoying. Again, it's an interesting strategy to me because is Ron DeSantis ahead of Nikki Haley? Yeah, maybe by a smidgen, right? The momentum is certainly with Nikki Haley. But somebody is up 40 points on you. Why do you not make like a TrumpLies.com? Don't make it like he's not really your enemy. And I'm not saying this because I'm trying to protect Ron DeSantis. I'm just saying on a purely strategic level, you got to take out Trump, man. Like he is way ahead of you. And so, I don't know. I didn't really get the point of it. I mean, the whole point of the debate was kind of ludicrous in the first place. And I'll talk about that at the end. But like you've got second and third place. You need first place there, or what's the point in having the debate? In any case, Nikki Haley's big gaffe of the night was on foreign aid. There was a lot of talk about Ukraine and Israel, which is great because that's where a lot of Republicans differ, right? You've got people more like Vivek Ramaswamy and a little bit of Ron DeSantis, and then you got the Chris Christies and the Nikki Haleys. DeSantis pointed out during this debate that Nikki Haley says that she's basically saying that she wants to give unequivocal support to Ukraine, but she never talks about how the war ends. And no one does on that side, by the way. And what was crazy is that DeSantis pointed out that anytime Nikki Haley has talked about the war ending, it's gone with the admittance of Ukraine to NATO. And that essentially means that we're going to send tons of cash and weapons to them because if it's a NATO country, we have the obligation to send cash and troops to help them. So basically, I mean, one of his best moments of the night was he said that you can take the ambassador out of the UN, but you can't take the UN out of the ambassador. Guys, I've been partnered with Gulag America for a while now. Why have you not gotten their stuff yet? Go to gulagamerica.com and get their patriotic apparel. It's super high quality, guys. I super love it. It's really cheap. Like it's very well priced. They've got stuff for warm weather, cold weather. Go check them out. If you use my code JoshCar10, you will get 10% off. Again, that's JoshCar10 at gulagamerica.com. The UN is a failing institution, and the underlying philosophies that Nikki Haley has are really ridiculous. She said literally the words, quote, "Give Israel whatever it wants to end Hamas." Now, on your surface, you might listen to that and you might say, yeah, I mean, Hamas is evil. 90% of Americans agree that Hamas should be obliterated and that Israel should have the right to do that. But give Israel whatever it wants to end Hamas? No. Israel can handle that on its own. We don't even need to get involved in that. Like Israel already wants to do that. It's so clear. We want Hamas dead. Yes. Israel wants Hamas dead. Awesome. So just let Israel do it. It's a win-win for us. We don't have to send the money. Hamas is gone. Throughout the whole debate, she's talked about how it's all about freedom. We're fighting for freedom. She's taking this foreign policy strategy that basically George Bush had, which has no limits on it, talking about how we need to send money to people to ensure that freedom is across the world. And she forgets that she is running for commander-in-chief of this nation. I know that she believes in immigration reform. I know that she's trying to I also believe that she's trying to shut down the southern border, which is good. But at the end of the day, Nikki Haley is trying to be a president for the world, and that's not what the U.S. president should do. The U.S. president is in charge of the United States, not Ukraine and not Israel. And yes, we can help them with all the intel we want. We can even show them how our military functions so they can be a more efficient military. But we should not send them weapons, we should not send them cash, and we should not send them troops. And Nikki Haley the whole time talked about how we should send them weapons and weapons and weapons. She conceded at one point that we should not send cash to Ukraine because obviously it's being used incorrectly. But I go a step further, and I don't think it makes sense to send them weapons at all. And Nikki Haley has basically said there are no limits to what we should send Ukraine, which is ludicrous. And I think for those who had ears to hear during this debate, they were so turned off by that. I certainly was. This was the best argument. I obviously you can tell I don't love Nikki Haley. It's no secret. But here's the thing. She had a really good argument, and this argument was so good that it almost makes me want to vote for her in the primary. I know that sounds crazy, but when you hear what the argument is, and it is based in facts, by the way, and logic, maybe you'll be persuaded as well. So here's what she said. She basically said that in every poll, well, not in every poll, but in a recent poll and in most polls, Haley beats Biden by 17 points. That's a real poll that came out. Now, sure, you could say polls, are inaccurate. Yeah, they're inaccurate sometimes. I agree with you. Trump against Biden wins by about 2 points on average, okay? But like you just said, polls sometimes can be, a little shaky. So does 2 points really inspire confidence in me? No, it doesn't, okay? DeSantis, on the other hand, loses in today's polls by a little bit, maybe about 2 points. Now, again, do I think that this matters a ton? No. Again, 2 points, not a lot. 17 points, though, is a lot. And here's the thing. Everyone can agree. We don't want Joe Biden to be president. Do I think Nikki Haley would be a better president than Joe Biden? Of course I do. Are you crazy? Because what? Joe Biden's going to keep sending aid to Ukraine. Is Nikki Haley going to do that still? Yes. But at least our southern border is going to be secure. At least the economy is going to rebound, right? It's not going to be the best, but it's definitely going to be the best between her and Biden. And so that was a very good point from Nikki Haley. Again, similar to the best point that Ron DeSantis made. She needed to make that the whole theme of the night. And she did not do it. And if she had done that, she's still getting momentum, but I think if she had done that, she may have even swayed some listening Trump supporters. Really quick, guys, I do want to talk about just a couple other things about the debate. Before we do that, I do want to get in a word about our second sponsors.
Hey, babe, do you know where we stored Milo's leash? I think he's finally old enough to start walking.
It's in a bin in the garage.
Normally, I'd be upset that I have to rummage through bin after bin. But I don't have to because I have
Smart Labels. I already know where I stored my stuff because last week I
put a smart label on my dog bin, created an online label and scanned it with the free Smart Labels app, cataloged the contents of the bin, and now I can simply search it in my app and know where to find it. The best part is the first year's free, so go check out your Smart Labels at Amazon or Walmart.com. Now talking about the overall thoughts that I have about the debate, I thought the CNN moderators did a pretty good job. I was really surprised. In the past, liberal media tends to be really strict. I mean, you saw it with, I think it was NBC that did the second or third debate. They were just so stinking intense about the debate where it can't breathe at all and they're not really interacting and it's worthless. And so I was expecting that from CNN, but they didn't do it. They actually let the debate breathe quite a bit, which is easier to do when there's two candidates. And for that reason, I thought the debate was a lot better than some of the past debates because they were actually able to have an interaction and attack each other, which some people are like, I hate it when, they're being rude and attacking each other. I think it's great. I think we need to hear about the dirt on both of these individuals because that's how we make an informed decision. And of course, they are the prime person to attack the other person. They have the most incentive to do it. I did appreciate them just like putting up the questions on the screen so that we could be reminded when candidates don't actually answer the questions. And overall, I just thought the debate was moderated well. Again, we needed Trump to be there. My overall thoughts are the debate is useless if Donald Trump doesn't have to be up on the stage defending his views and some of the, frankly, very non-conservative things that he said on transgender individuals as well as abortion recently. And this was pointed out by DeSantis and Nikki Haley, but it doesn't really matter. They need to actually talk to him. It's not a matter of them just calling him out, unless that call out is much stronger, but it wasn't very strong. I can only assume that they both have some sort of intel or they have to have some sort of reason that they believe they're going to win the Iowa caucus because they're just not being drastic enough. They're playing the same game they've played the whole time and they're losing. And so I have to think that they know something we don't, or someone's lying to them. I'm guessing someone's lying to them. Usually when you're in a position of power, people try to make you like them. And that's one of the sad realities of politics is a lot of our politicians are in the dark because people are too afraid to actually tell them the truth. I think that is the case for Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley. It's certainly the case for Donald Trump as well, but I believe he's actually winning. Overall, the winner of the debate was probably Nikki Haley and DeSantis. For me, I thought his arguments were much better, but it's very clear to see with the momentum she has that people resonated with her arguments more. She was pretty tenacious up on the stage, and there is some. Again, like I said, there's some momentum. Iowa is not a done deal. She could win it. New Hampshire, she could certainly win. It's unlikely. I think Donald Trump will still win, but I think it is much different today than it was just a month ago. And that is a very interesting dynamic and a very interesting change going into the Iowa caucus, which will be on Monday. As always, guys, that is the end of my podcast, but thank you so much for watching. I started this podcast about a year ago, if you can imagine it. So I just appreciate everybody's support, as well as please subscribe down below if you haven't already, if you got a little bit of entertainment or value out of this show. See you next time.